I was right, and I'm not happy about it. While I was away in England, Canadian Guy A released a super informative interview with a former employee of Activision, who I believe is stated in the interview to be one of the directors behind Nitro Fueled, but he confirmed some of the points I raised in the last video about why it's time for fans to accept that Nitro Fueled is never coming to PC. It's actually really funny now that I think about it that Wumpa Lewis put out that video, I then kind of tongue-in-cheek put out my own video talking about it, and then for that interview by Canadian Guy A to come out within 2 weeks of that. So to paraphrase the developer, it's because Crash Nitro Fueled on the PC was never on the cards to begin with. From the conversation, which I'll link down below, it was decided very early on in development that Nitro Fueled was going to be a console-only game, and even post-release, it's clear that Toys for Bob's Toys for Bobs? There are multiple Bobs. They're all called Bob. Every developer's called Bob. And the worst part is, it's not even Toys for Bob. It was Beenox. Maybe we can call it Toys for Beenox. Thanks, Abdul. But anyway, they were too busy trying to get it right for the console from the start, supporting the players, patching bugs, and developing Grand Prix content. It's also clear that Toys for Bob were given a time frame to work on the game by Activision, and so the dev even confirms that there was almost no cut content, and even content that they perhaps wanted to add but didn't have the time to was in fact limited. He alludes to there being ideas for one of a Grand Prix in his back pocket, and maybe having characters such as Willy Wumpa and Madame Amberley being characters that could have potentially been added if Activision had extended the Grand Prix support by at least 1 more month than originally planned. And that's it. From that interview, we can make peace with how CTR Nitro Fueled was left is how it shall remain. No anniversary DLC, no more Grand Prix, and no PC port. Sadly, it was also hinted that there were never any talks about a sequel either, so for us kart racing fans, the wait for a masterpiece like Nitro Fueled may well be a long one. It may dash your hopes, but at least for now, the false hope for a PC port and supposed leaks for a sudden release of cut content created by Reddit chancers can finally be put to rest. Dong. But don't stop talking about CTR. Keep the hype alive, as the only chance we have to see a CTR revival is if Microsoft, who obviously now own Activision, believe it to have an audience that will happily line their pockets. I'm buying the Carters too, as even if it's not quite the same as CTR, I want it to do well in the hopes that notice is taken, that the genre outside of Mario still has a place for gamers. Thanks so much for watching, please consider liking and subscribing, and see you in my next video.